So the big story yesterday, HBO Max removes Gone with the Wind. They're going to bring it back. I did a video on this yesterday talking about how they're going to bring it back, but they're going to bring it back with a discussion of some of the stuff in the film that might make people uncomfortable. And they're going to have a big discussion about it. I don't know what that looks like. It's essentially some sort of trigger warning. I don't know what they're going to do with it, if they're going to put this before or after the film. It sounds like they're going to have like a round table of people discussing the film, though, probably before you even get to watch it. I would imagine most people are probably going to fast forward through it because they want to watch the movie. I have no problem with some kind of documentary discussing things in the film, but honestly, I think it belongs. It's its own feature, not before you watch the film. I don't know how they're going to handle this. They were kind of vague about it. My guess is there's going to be a trigger warning before the movie added in, and then they'll probably put that discussion at the end of the movie. That would be my guess if I had to just take a shot and figure it out right now. I think that's what they'll do. I think that's dumb. I hate trigger warnings. You should be able to watch the film and say, hey, this was made in 1939. This is a completely different time in the country, and just watch the film. A lot of stuff gets thrown out with this as far as cultural significance. The first black woman to ever win an Oscar came from this movie, though no one in any of the reports from the mainstream media that's covered this has mentioned that. And I thought that was kind of funny. Like, why wouldn't you talk about that? Like, that's kind of a big deal, isn't it? I'd say for 1939, that's pretty significant, but hey, let's just ignore that. So let's go over this and we'll get to what's going on. The recent decision to pull the American classic Gone with the Wind from HBO Max has had a Streisand effect, a phenomenon where attempting to suppress something ends up calling more attention to it and thus having the opposite effect of the intended desire. And that's the big thing here. The movie is getting new viewers because on Amazon, it's going for outrageous prices. In some cases, people are charging $300 for the Blu-ray because it's probably out of print. I haven't looked, because I'm going to be honest, I haven't looked for this movie before that. I didn't look at prices. I don't know what the film was set at, the other day, or if it was even out of print. It could have been out of print. They don't keep making movies over and over. They usually, sometimes, like if it's a newer movie or newer release, they'll keep making it. But usually they print so many, and then if it's out, it's out. They're not going to just keep making it. Gone with the Wind probably isn't in super demand. I would think most people before what had happened that wanted it had already had it. So I'm going to guess that it was probably out of print. More so, if you found one somewhere, that won't be getting restocked. You know what I'm saying? So I don't know. Maybe it's out of print. Maybe it's not. They don't really say in this article. But I do want to stress, and a few other people that cover this kind of content have made the same point I'm going to make. Save your physical copies of a movie if it's something. So if you love something, like there's a movie that you absolutely love, it's in your top 10 or 20, you should probably own it. Because we've seen this time and time again where they went and edited stuff out of a movie. They did it with Back to the Future 2 recently. That was a big thing. And they fixed that. But if people hadn't have noticed it, would anything have happened? There's been a few other movies, particularly on Disney Plus, that they've changed. And they just didn't say anything. So as we go forward and physical movies kind of become a thing of the past, it's important that you keep them if it's something you love, because it might be the only way you can watch it as it was created. I don't know. Gone with the Wind, I imagine for now won't go anywhere, but I could see a movie like this being completely erased eventually. And the only way you might be able to watch it is through a physical copy, and people are realizing that, and that's why people are jumping to try to own it. So here is the big news right here. So by Wednesday, Gone with the Wind exploded in Amazon's rankings to numerous top spots, including the following spots in their top 100 overall for the category. So check this out. Look at this. Gone with the Wind 70th Anniversary Edition. 2 versions of Gone with the Wind. Movies like this get re-released. They call this double dipping. Well, they just re-release a movie. Maybe they'll give it different packaging. You see this a lot with Star Wars. Star Wars has been double dipped to extremes. Like they've repackaged it and put it out over and over and over again because people will buy it. I would imagine anytime they come out with a new version of Gone with the Wind, people will buy this movie as well. This is, well, for the longest time, was the highest grossing movie of all time. I think Avatar and Avengers Endgame were finally the ones to beat it, but for the longest time, no one could top this movie. It's been around for a long time. It's pretty significant culturally, I guess you could say. Like I said, it's not my favorite movie. I really even particularly don't care for it, but it shouldn't be erased, is what I'm saying. So I went over to Amazon and I was looking at some of the prices, and you can see them right here. So it looks like you can watch it from Prime Video. Now, I don't know if that's changed. That might go away. What if they remove this? You know, Amazon hasn't yet. What if they remove this and add a trigger warning to it? So you go down here, you see the DVD version of Gone with the Wind sitting at $33.99. We can go down here. Here's the 70th Anniversary Edition, $150. We come down here. Here's another one. This one's going for $334 on Blu-ray. $334. That's insane. We go up here, a DVD for $154, multi-format $74. For some reason, this Blu-ray is $12. I don't know what's going on with that one, but you can see here, like, look at this one. 70th Anniversary Ultimate Collector's Edition, $250. This movie is going for a lot of money right now. So if you're not a big fan of the film and you have a copy of it and you want to make a quick buck, it looks like you might be able to make some money off of the Streisand effect, because that's what's going on here right now. Now, I don't think that was the intended idea, but it's just funny, and it shows you when you try to censor something, when you try to change something, people are going to rush to try to see it, and that's exactly what's going on here. I thought that was pretty telling. So these were the rankings that all these different versions had. People were scrambling to buy them up, which does make me think that maybe it's out of print because so many different versions got sold out. I'm not sure. I don't know. Anyway, that's really the story there. The other story is all of these shows that are getting canceled. Here's one right here. Paw Patrol is getting targeted. I don't know. Like, I guess this is a popular children's show on Nick Jr. I've never seen it and I've never heard of it. I don't know anything about it. But this got me thinking, like, what else are they going to come for? You know, they already went for cops. This basically any good description, like any good portrayal of a police guy or whatever, any kind of law enforcement seems to be targeted right now, which I think is incredibly dumb. I'm sure some people are going to disagree with me in the comments. I saw this in a previous video, but I don't think all police are bad. You might disagree with me on that, but I don't think they're all bad. I think this is ridiculous. Okay? We don't need to change entertainment portrayals and make them all evil. I think it's really disgusting how they're all being portrayed as villainous, and now we have to take out any depictions of good cops. Like I said, you know, what's going to happen with Doctor Who? Are people going to go after the TARDIS next? You know, are we going to change it from its iconic police box? And you think that's a crazy thought, but it could happen. All it's going to take are 5 or 6 blue-haired weirdo people to go after it and say it needs to go. And watch them bend the knee and change it. I bet you they'll do it. And it's probably going to happen. What are we going to do next? Are we going to go after Christopher Lloyd because he wore black makeup to be a Klingon in Star Trek 3? I mean, when does this end? You know, how far are we going to go with this? That's why I'm against doing it even with like stuff like Gone with the Wind, but you could probably make an argument for it. Because once we start somewhere, where's it going to stop? Leave entertainment alone. Leave television shows alone. Anyway, that's all I got for you. Thanks for watching. Let me know in the comments, what do you think? Do you think they'll go after the police box? Do you think they'll actually do that? I'd like to hear what you have to say. What do you think about all of this? What do you think of the Streisand effect on Gone with the Wind? I'd like to hear your thoughts. Also, throw a like up, share the video. Make sure you still subscribe. Subscribe if you're new. Hit that notification bell, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace. Also, if you want to help support the channel, check out my Teespring store. There's a link in the description. You can find some merchandise in there that you might want to check out.